The honourable member for Halifax Needham.
My question is for the Premier. In the wake of this week's budget, I am compelled to explain some of the dynamics faced by many people in this province. People who, despite Nova Scotia having the lowest median income in the country, are lucky enough to make a decent living. But even if they make well above minimum wage, say $20 an hour, they are still challenged to absorb rent hikes of $100 or $200 or $300 a month or more. Mr. Speaker, what is the Premier doing to provide protections for people in this sort of situation?
The Honourable Premier.
Thank the member for the question, Mr. Speaker. As I said earlier, we continue to provide rent subs. This new budget has an additional 600 rent supplements that are in it. Mr. Speaker, we continue to work with both not-for-profits, our own housing that we're making investment in, along with the private sector, to continue to ensure that we have a myriad of housing options for the people of this province. The honourable member has a position that, and her party believes that we should have rent controls. Mr. Speaker, we don't support that position. It hasn't worked in other places. But she has highlighted something that is important, and for the fact that our economy in HRM is growing at the rate it is, it has put pressure on finding affordable housing, and that's why we're going to continue to work with our partners out in communities to provide the myriad of housing options that are required to ensure that we have safe housing for our citizens.
The honourable member for Halifax Needham.
Mr. Speaker, perhaps I need to clarify the details in my question. I am not speaking about low-income Nova Scotians who would be eligible for rent supplements. I am not speaking for Nova Scotians who would require or be eligible for the support of nonprofit organizations, which are doing the best that they can in this very difficult housing market. There are one-bedroom apartments listed on the Halifax Peninsula for $1,445 a month. In fact, I know someone who rented a one-bedroom this week for $1,550 a month, and there is no limit set on the annual increase. There are people moving out this year who moved in last year because the rent has gone up so much. If someone makes $20 an hour, this rent would constitute more than 50% of their income, an unsustainable amount. Mr. Speaker, what is the Premier doing to protect middle-income people from massive rent hikes?
The Honourable Premier.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As I said in my first answer, Mr. Speaker, housing is a myriad of options that will be required. As you know, we just invested in this in first-time homebuyers program that we've doubled the investment. You should know that we continue to work with both our own housing stock to improve it, to ensure that in working with co-op housing, Mr. Speaker, to provide other options when it comes to affordability, and at the same time, Mr. Speaker, working with our partners here at HRM to continue to work on how do we provide an environment where affordability about rent is not something that puts families in a difficult financial position. And we're going to continue to try to work with everyone so that we can continue to increase the housing stock, not just here on the peninsula, but in surrounding communities, to keep and provide Nova Scotia families with affordable, safe housing.